So you and I first became aware of each other because, I mean, more I became aware of you because she was one of the great foreign correspondents at the New York Times. Applaud. I mean, I'm still applauding, and I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to do some, advocacy for youth in a number of difficult places in Africa, and started writing about policy issues in that part of the world. And bear in mind that made me a wet behind the ears, green, young, sort of, kinda Africa expert. It did not make me an Afghanistan expert. But I had also worked for this veteran diplomat, Richard Holbrooke, who is a larger-than-life, very complicated character, brokered peace in Bosnia. You know, when people ask, what's the great example of a modern, successful peace accord, really, Bosnia is a pretty good answer. An imperfect deal, but he ended years of war and bloodshed. And I had worked for him on and off, since my teens. I had gone to college young, and he, I think, liked precocity because he himself had been like too young and annoyingly young for his jobs early on, and liked a good idea regardless of where it came from, and was gracious enough to not point out that I was way too inexperienced for any of this. And so part and parcel with that, years later, when I got out of law school and I was dealing with a dilemma that's probably familiar with a lot of you who have decided, like, okay, do I go for the day job that's stable or the moonshot that's a source of passion? And, was about to go back to a law firm that I had spent the summer at. And Richard Holbrooke pitched me on the idea of coming to join his Afghanistan team, which was a new unit that he was pulling together. And his idea was, we've had this hyper-militarized approach. Let's get together a bunch of outsiders from different disciplines and let's look at the opportunities for a political settlement in Afghanistan. And Henry Kissinger, who is one of the many secretaries of state on the record in this book, once said, you always say yes to Richard Holbrooke. If you say no, you'll just say yes eventually, but it'll be a painful process getting there. And that was definitely true in my experience. There's some colorful passages in there about his process of pitching me on this job and interviewing me for this job, but a bunch of outsiders with different perspectives, and some of them as inexperienced as I was, joined the fray, and we formed this unit at the State Department.